Introduction to the Flirt Pole with Monique Fairchild. This toy is for supervised play only. Please be safe.
This is a small whip that you can get at any feed store or order online, and then we attach a toy to it separately, and you can either tie your toy on or you can use something like a hair elastic or several to hold your toy and your whip together for the dog to be able to chase it and play tug. The shorter whip is really good for getting dogs, especially beginner dogs, interested in playing with the toy. The longer whip is great because it allows you to make the dog run a lot further and you get to be relatively stationary.
To start with, I'm just going to move the toy along the ground in a way that encourages the puppy to chase it and keeps it interesting. I vary the speed and keep the toy reachable. I'm going to move it slowly enough that she can actually catch it, and then we'll end with a quick game of tugging. Notice that I only tug as hard as she will, and here I'm very gentle. As we progress and she becomes more interested in the toy, it's going to be important for me to continue working to maintain engagement. To maintain engagement, I'm going to vary the speed at which I present the toy. I'm going to make sure that she feels like she can actually reach it and catch it at least some of the time. And in this particular clip, I do a lot of moving of my own body to keep the game fun and interesting for Rosie. This puppy really likes to tug, so I'm going to continue ending sessions with tugging for a little while to maintain her enthusiasm and excitement for this really fun game. Since Rosie is staying engaged for longer periods of time and willing to run further to get the toy, for this clip I use a longer whip. That allows me to let her run further and faster while I get to stand relatively still. Safety is really important when you're introducing and playing with a flirt pole. Encouraging aerial maneuvers like jumping and twisting can predispose dogs to injury, so I keep the toy close to the ground almost all of the time. I work to spend equal time going clockwise and counterclockwise while playing with the puppy to encourage balanced movement. I also try to keep the changes of direction easy for the puppy to understand and gentle. Sudden changes of direction can encourage inappropriate movements or unsafe movements and predispose the puppy to injury during play. To keep it fun, we make sure she catches the toy. Here, we're teaching Rosie that when she hears her name in an excited voice, the toy will appear and lots of fun happens next. This lesson is a good preparation for her later recall training because she'll learn to come quickly and in an excited fashion when she hears her name. Right now, the toy is a lure. Later on, the toy won't appear until after she's completed the recall to transition it into a reward. Different dogs have different styles of play, especially object play. This particular dog was reluctant at first to engage with me, so I started by making tiny movements with the toy to get her interest and attention. Then, once she became more interested in the toy, we could do larger movements that encourage more running and chasing type maneuvers. As with the puppy video, you'll notice that I make my circles predictable for the dog and I try to keep the toy on the ground with easy, gentle changes of directions for safety. As she becomes more excited about the toy, we'll be able to play for longer and longer periods of time per session. We finish by letting her catch the toy. This dog has a different style of play. He really likes to watch things that move rather than chasing them, and he really likes to tug. So to encourage him to interact with the flirt pole, we're going to start with a really good game of tugging, which we know that he already likes. As he's becoming more interested in the toy, he'll start to chase more and more and more. Periodically, though, you'll see that he stops and he actually wants to watch the toy more than he wants to move around and chase it. If that happens, we switch to a different kind of play to try and get him to re-engage. In this case, I encourage him to grab the toy and then reward that movement towards the toy with a session of excited tugging. More videos are available at teachinganimals.com. Thanks for watching.